Guys, like I said, it's been slow. We've been putting this thing together.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited about it.
Yep.
And now I feel like we're going to have an offense that can match our defense, and and that's what we need, and that's what we're looking for. I'm looking forward to this place, just like when y'all play the Houseman Field.
Yeah.
Helicopters above, sold out game.
Army fatigue.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
You know how
That's
Spark.
legendary.
You
Don't
know how
fatigue
Spark
live
come
on.
out there.
I'm telling you,
You know how
everybody.
Spark ran out there.
If anybody asks me who I played for, you want to Sparky's guys? Were you there when they wore the fatigues? I was like,
That's what they say. Yeah.
I've grown up. I've grown up. Man. That was fun, but it was amazing that you guys said that because I got reprimanded for that.
Did you?
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, I got reprimanded. But you know what? That had nothing to do, guys, with me. It was about them because I knew them.
Okay, guys, we got a special one for you guys today. I got head coach Davenport University, Coach Sparky McEwen. And man, listen, we already know you a busy man, so we are thankful that you took the time out to hang out with us today. I promise you we're going to have a great time. We're going to chop it up about everything you can think of and just make sure that we bring the people a great conversation on today, man. So pleasure to see you, man.
Absolutely.
Proud of you, and thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
You know, the thing that was cool about it is Carlton got a hold of me.
Yep.
And Carlton will tell you I am busy. You know,
We already know.
I got 140 cats, but he thought I was trying to play him to the left. And
It's big time in UCV.
He was hustling hard. I said, but I'm very familiar with what you guys are doing.
Yes.
I said I got to be a part of it. So thanks for having me.
We're so grateful. We're humbled, man. We believe. We said, man, we got to get Spark on here because if nothing else, he gonna talk his talk,
Right,
and we good to go. And so we just wanted to come, not only give you your flowers. We love you. We look up to you. But, man, we just want to make sure you know that you got some guys out here that's riding for you, that's supporting everything you got going here at DU. If we can help attract more athletes this way, if we can do anything to support the program, you got our support. And we just wanted to make sure you know that we love and appreciate you, and we want to give your flowers while you can still smell them.
I appreciate that. GRPS, baby.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there we go.
Absolutely.
Public school kids, there we go.
People don't understand that that's real.
Yep.
And we're the bridge between a lot of student athletes
Absolutely.
that's come through, GRPS, man, and we no longer have it.
No.
I was one of the individuals that hated to see it go.
Me too.
Hated to see it go, and but it was beneficial to a lot of us, So
Certainly.
with what you guys do, man, and keeping people up, on times and making sure that we understand and remember our history,
Yep.
our traditions, that's important.
Absolutely.
So you guys need to be commended on that.
Speaking of GRPS, man, you had one of the most epic runs that put the City League on fire, man. And even competing against you, I still was in admiration of it. Talk to us about the time you had, man. From I'm gonna skip over 96, but just to your run through 03, man. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It was tough. A lot of people don't know, man. After that third year, I was going to resign. I sat down with an amazing man in Dr. Sebastian.
Yeah.
And he pretty much appointed me to be the head coach. He felt like I was the man for the job, but I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I wanted no parts of it because I knew it was going to take an enormous effort for everyone involved in the success for Creston Polar Bears.
Absolutely.
I knew it was going to be a huge takeover, and the blueprint that I had for it was going to take administrators. It was going to take.
You needed all hands on deck.
I needed everybody.
Everybody had to be on board.
And they came to me 2 other times prior. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
And I said no. And Dr. Sebastian Lovey, man, he came and he goes, no, you're my guy. And he asked me, he said, what do you need?
Yes.
And he didn't say, what do you want? He said, what do you need?
There we go.
It's a big difference.
And you know, we had our conversation. That's going to be a time and place for that with me and him. That will come out down the road. But he took care of my boys.
Yes.
And that's what I needed. It was not about me. You know, it was not about my coaches. It was about these kids.
Yep.
And once he gave me, you know, his endorsement,
Yep.
you know, now it's time to go to work. And from there, man, we took off. But that third year was hard on me, man, because when I go hard.
You do.
You know, I go hard.
I want to jump in and throw you some props,
Yeah.
man, and give you for sense of community. Like, you built that at Creston with us, like you talking about, touching on it with Dr. Sebastian and all the guys that you brought together. And I see you doing that same thing here. Speak to that a little bit, because I know that's one of your strong suits, so to say.
Yeah, you know, before you can win, you know, in the game, you got to win in the game of life.
For sure.
You know, you got to bring and have that family atmosphere. When I hear so many coaches talk about, you know, winning, I said, well, you know, you got to get the parents involved.
Yep.
You know, if you guys remember,
Yeah.
you know, I had every one of their parents involved.
Mama Bears, baby.
We talk about that all the time,
you know,
man.
You know, and my thing is this here, you know, these boys, they love their mamas and daddies more than anything. And I said, in order for me to coach these cats, I got to win over these parents.
Yes.
And these parents got to believe in me, you know, and so often you get coaches, you know, that fear allowing parents in. Man, I had no problem with that,
Yeah.
you know, because, you know, we had to be totally transparent,
Yeah.
you know, with our parents. And they saw what I was for.
Yep.
You know, I mean, look at the guys, man. These guys, they're fathers,
Yeah.
you know, they're employers, they're business owners.
You built men.
Yes,
Oh,
you did.
man.
Yes,
Built
you did.
men. You turn boys into men, and that's why that's part of us loving on you and commending you, because we see the fruits of your labor right here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know a couple of things I want to get big you up for, is because as going on, like, I've been in a couple coaching staffs, coaching rooms, and I told CB this before. I can know if a coach got the sauce or does not have the sauce in 5 minutes, coach. Why? Because I done been around some great coaches, and it don't take that long. Either you
No.
have the command of the room or you don't. It's that simple.
You got to be able to teach, man. You got to be able to teach,
Yeah.
you know, and the students got to be willing to listen, you know, and, you know, when it comes to young people, y'all know when guys are real, you know, and you'll give them your all.
Yeah,
you know,
you
you'll
will.
give them your all. And the thing I love about the GRPS, and I laugh about it to this day, there was nothing different that we had that people hadn't had before there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we put together a collective group of coaches.
Yep.
And they brought that fire, you know, and they brought it out. So, you know, I know right where you were at.
Yeah.
You know, I knew the talent that was at Central, we're at Union.
Yeah.
And to me, it made no sense that only one public school team, you know,
Exactly.
waltzed under the Ford Field. Or not Ford Field, Pontiac. at the time.
Silverdome.
Because you knew the talent
Yeah.
that existed right in our city league.
Oh.
You knew it firsthand.
It
So
was right there.
for nobody else but you guys to do it, you're right. But that's one thing you did that was phenomenal. You know it was talent littered throughout the city. You finally got all that to come together and operate as one and go out and get real results. That was one thing you did. Like, we had talent over at Ottawa. We couldn't put it together. You did a great job at that, man.
Visionary.
Well, you know, part of that though, well, like I said, you got to have the proper help.
Yeah.
You got to have people willing to work with you. You know, if you guys recall, one of the biggest differences we had in the MHSAA in the high school level, we were the first staff that looked like a college staff.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We had
You did
15
that.
coaches.
Yes,
You
sir.
did that.
You know,
Yep.
and you know, we had 2 O-line coaches, 2 D-line coaches,
Yes.
inside linebacker coaches, outside linebacker
That knew what
coaches,
they were
quarterback
talking
coaches,
about.
you know,
And they were good teachers.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was important, like I said, guys, man, that, you know, if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it right. And then one other thing, you know, that really bothered me was that I knew what the schools in the suburbs had. Now I know what we didn't have.
Absolutely.
You know, so it was important to me to fundraise. You know, these cats will tell you
To this day,
I kept
pop
them,
can dry.
hey, kept them geared up.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
hats, t-shirts, shorts. It didn't matter.
You got over your
Equipment.
shyness early. You had to knock on the door. You had to engage with somebody.
Yes.
Tell them who you played for, what you were there for.
Yeah.
And by the way, do you have any pop cans or bottles you would like to donate?
Spark had the whole script for y'all
This is what
already
you
ready
say.
to go.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about it, it all goes to them.
Yep.
You know, it goes to them. You So those things were important. And then not only it wasn't just about football, it was about life. We talked about life.
Yeah. When we got the New Jerseys, we didn't care about going to get them pop cans.
No, yeah. But we did it all, man. It was completing the full young man, and that was important to us. We were out in the community, reading at schools, with elementary kids, and it was just so many things that these guys took on to allow them to become humble.
Spark, one thing you did that I love from the outside, these my best friends, so they would call me and tell me everything. But bro, remember when Spark used to have the camps? Y'all used to go away and team build and build that. Like, bro, that was so.
Where was that at? St. Joe's?
Charlotte. We went to Charlotte.
It was down in the Battle Creek, outside of Battle Creek.
Wherever it wasn't in the city.
Albion,
man.
outside of Albion.
Yeah, our whole team went, and it was team build, and it was ropes course. It was all these things where you had to work together with some guys and collectively to complete the task.
So the beauty of that was we made contact, right? I knew I had some dudes, and and I saw that they needed to back up a little bit, man. And so I made some calls, and I had some options. We could have went someplace with electricity, running water, soap. Or we could have went somewhere with tents. No lights in the woods. I said, that's what I want. That's what they need.
Because, Coach, you expose them. In the inner city, we only know that 4-mile radius
You already
of
know
what we come
is.
from in the trenches. And you expose them to the trees, the forest, the woods. And they had to get it and manage without the amenities they normally accustomed to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And work together. That was a big thing, like he was just saying. We had to team build. We had to, talk about leadership. What does the future look like? What does a leader look like? And then we always stress this too. There was not one individual, man, that was bigger than the other one.
I love that about you.
Never. We didn't play that. They didn't play that. And if it was a cat that tried to stray away, they go get him. So, but man, y'all took me back on that one, man. That was some time ago, and a lot of love there, because those parents allowed me to take those young cats away.
They entrusted you with their kids, with their babies.
How have some of those experiences, Coach, prepared you for this job that you have now?
Wow, you know what? It's amazing that you asked that. We go to camp here.
Okay,
that's what's up.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what's up.
We go not going.
We go to camp here. We have to, because it's different now. See, because all you guys grew up together. These guys don't know each other.
Gotcha.
50% of my team are high school kids. The other 50% are transfers, and we recruit the country.
Gotcha.
I mean, we recruit the country, y'all. So these guys roll in here, and we go to camp. I mean, we're in camp, training camp. And we don't take the balls. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Well, we took the balls, though. Yeah. These cats, we don't take no balls.
Or nothing,
we go right out, and we go to camp for 3 days.
Nice.
And
That's interesting. So when did that switch? Like, where you get half high school kids, half transfers? Was that the COVID year, or?
Well, that's a whole different story. That was coming here to DU.
Okay.
Because now we're in the GLIAC. We're playing big boy ball.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I couldn't just step in there and
We're
take
high school
that,
boys. I got you.
and take that pounding, man.
I got you. So I need some grown men.
So we're in that day and age of
Gotcha.
transfer portal.
Okay.
And but that's a different story in itself. But our whole philosophy was, in order to compete in the GLIAC right now, you're gonna have to go out here and get some guys from those other 4-year institutions that can help bridge the gap while my youngsters grow up. My MVP on my defense, man, is a 4-year high school kid. Wow. He's 2-time Jalen Robinson.
Okay.
2-time defensive MVP from the safety position.
Yep.
So we believe that you build your foundation with high school kids. So wherever we're weak at, we'll go and get some guys through the transfer portal and bring them in here, and then we'll go off to camp. Make sure guys understand. Check the ego at the door. Okay, and we got to make this thing happen.
That's awesome.
That's what's up. The transfer portal, just thinking about that, could you name like some of the benefits has it helped your program with getting some of those kids either from JUCO, D1s, other D2s, just the benefits of the depth chart, O-line, offense, defense?
Yeah. Well, first of all, there was no such thing as a transfer portal back in the day, even with y'all.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, sit a year.
This is no matter what, off rip, you got to sit. Now guys, it's changed. It's free agent football, you know.
Free agent
And I called it out a couple of years ago, and people thought something was wrong with me, but that was my background as a pro coach.
Yep.
I said, this free agency. I said, I'm good with this. I know how this, how this is going to work. But to answer your question, CB, you got to take a look at your board, and I'll show you guys my board. But you look at your board, you look where you're weak, you look where you're young, you look where you're old, and then you got to go and fill it with these guys that's in the portal. And then you look at how your growth is coming along. Some areas we say, no, don't touch that. We're good. We got some vets coming through the high school ranks there. But then there's some areas where we're like, no, we need help right now.
Yeah.
We got to get somebody right now. So that's kind of our mindset, our philosophy on it. It's a whole different budget for that, versus the budget for your high school kids. So y'all, come on. This is the conference of the national champions.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you got another team, that's a national powerhouse.
Yep.
And then you got a couple other teams. A lot of people don't remember, but Wayne State was in the national championship game, I think about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a fight every week in this conference.
So
See, man.
yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal, So, but I'm excited because the place here, it's a whole different challenge. Okay. It's a whole different challenge. We are private. Man, one of the things that was just big for me, we just got education here. It's a tremendous business school, business opportunity, very reputable in the country. But now we just brought education, so the game now done changed for me. It's changed, So, so it's going to continue to evolve, here, and we're going to continue to grow, in this conference.
Coach, you are arguably one of the best recruiters in the country. How have you been able to recruit and retain talent the way you have, no matter where you've been?
I think it goes back to what we said earlier. You got to get teachers, man. That young man, we got a young man here today, and I tell you what, he may like me, but if he don't like that position, coach, it's a wrap.
Right.
That's a key.
We're going to lose him. So when I'm conducting, evaluations and interviews of coaches, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, okay, how will one of these new jacks like him?
Yeah.
Because these guys are
Good way to
different.
put it, Coach.
I'm evaluating him going, I don't know, with this new breed of athletes, you got to be able to vibe with these guys.
Yeah.
You
got to be able to reach them.
Yes. And then also they got to be a fit for us here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got to be a fit for Grand Rapids.
Yep.
So me being familiar with Grand Rapids is a big plus.
Okay.
Big time plus. Us having this university in a city is a big plus, because more of your small schools are in these small desolate towns. So now it's a great situation for us, and our place is just steadily growing. Yeah. So I got to make sure I got proper coaches.
Yep.
Great schemes.
Yep.
Keep it up on
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
facilities.
Nice.
Yeah.
So as long as you keeping up with the Joneses, we gonna have a shot.
I love it. I love it. I love it. On top of you being an awesome recruiter and being able to retain guys, you mentioned this a little bit, but that budget of being able to still fit those transfer portal students in and take care of that pipeline of high school kids. How have you navigated that?
Well, you know what? It's truly, you got to be a businessman too now.
You do.
My days. 13
Salary
years,
cap. So
yeah.
that's the
my 13 years professionally has helped this tremendously.
There you go.
Where you're looking at a guy that's getting ready to graduate. Like for instance, I think we've got 11 guys that's graduating Sunday.
Awesome.
In which I'm extremely excited about. Nice. But that's money that comes back. And you got to be able to navigate through that. Where you're going to lose guys at graduation. So do you plug them with high school student athletes? Do you plug them with transfers?
Yep.
And then obviously you get guys that leave your program.
Yeah.
And that's what we're running into now, because everybody said, hey, I can go to DU and play right away. But then they get here, like, wait a minute, they got some dudes. They got some dudes. I'm going to get back in the portal. It's crazy, but I tell guys, if you're going to survive in this game, man, you better learn how to play it.
Yeah.
You better learn how to play it. And the young athletes are very, very gifted. They're very gifted guys. Technology, they're huge on. And you got to be able to, help them with that.
Absolutely.
Social media. We're big.
Yep.
We're big here in social media. And if you're not, good luck. Good luck in this industry, because back when y'all played, man, y'all had to pick up the phone.
For sure.
Yeah.
Brew, what you do? How many touchdowns you throw?
Yeah.
Did Spark get on your ass today?
Oh man, and now they just pick up the phone and see, you don't put something out there. They tap in like, and then they'll push send or they'll respond. So it's different, and all you can do is embrace it, and figure out where's our place. Where's our place in this? And that's another thing with recruiting. I got to have coaches that know how to do that.
Yeah.
So this new technology is pushing some coaches out the profession.
Because they're stuck in the old ways and haven't made the adjustment.
Dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Coach, speak to your staff. I hear you talking a lot about your staff. I know your son is on your staff. We know Bobby Taylor. Speak to these guys that you do have in charge of these young men.
Man, it's amazing because AJ has had opportunities to move on, and AJ has become a star in this game.
Okay.
Nice.
And we've sat down and we've talked, and he understands that, don't allow money to dictate your happiness.
Yeah.
Man. He's at a place. He's home.
Yeah.
He's getting better and better as a defensive coordinator. He's doing one heck of a job there. He's a mentor to these guys. He's closer to their age than mine. And Lavelle Walker. He's amazing. He's my MVP. I got some young guys on my staff, man. I've been blessed.
There we go.
I mean, they can do it. And then I got my OGs.
Okay.
I got Coach Taylor. He's still here. And y'all know
Coach Bobby, what's going on,
he's still
man?
hardcore. He's still hard, man. And but it's awesome having him. You got to have those type of coaches on your staff. I got another guy that's been a college coordinator, Coach Bart Estela, and man, he's been in this game a long time. So we got a good mix, of coaches, on our staff. And another thing you got to have at this level, you got to have guys from across the country.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because we get guys out of Florida, we get guys out of Texas, Cali, guys out of New York.
Yeah.
We get them from everywhere. So I try to get guys that have connections, throughout the United States.
That's strategic and that's smart. One thing, Coach, you have been blessed to coach with your son. How has that been, you two together going through this journey together?
It's, the thing that's really nice for me is that he really gets it, and he runs my defense, him and Lavelle, and Lavelle runs my special teams.
Nice.
And, guys, you're talking about two guys with their master degrees and their 4.0s.
Yeah.
These brothers are smart, so I got my hands full because my philosophy has always been, and you guys know this, I've always built my defenses first.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I knew offense would come, so we've gotten mad respect in our conference throughout the country, for our defense.
Because you guys get after it on the defense.
Yeah,
we're
going to get after you. We're going to get after you on defense. And now, we just made a new hire for my offensive coordinator, and you're going to see some special things, this year, going back to when these guys is balling.
Looking forward to it.
We got a little something this year, so I'm excited about that.
You got to pull out the trick plays, man. Freaky deaky one time.
It's something that he says that, Eric, I'll tell you something, man. You're not going to believe this. Since I've been here, we may have run maybe one trick play. And so that's not even enough. Because we're going to have them.
You're going to have them. Yeah.
But good teams, really good teams, they have them. Guys, like I said, it's been slow. We've been putting this thing together.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Yep.
And now I feel like we're going to have an offense that can match our defense. And, and that's what we need. And that's what we're looking for. I'm looking forward to this place, just like when y'all play the Houseman Field.
Yeah.
Helicopters above, sold out game.
Army fatigue.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
You know how Spark.
legendary.
You know how Spark come out there.
I'm telling you.
You know how Spark ran out there.
If anybody asks me who I played for, you one of Sparky's guys? Were you there when they wore the fatigues? I was like,
That's what they say. Yeah.
I've grown up. Man. That was fun, but it was amazing that you guys said that because I got reprimanded for that.
Did you?
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, I got reprimanded. But you know what? That had nothing to do, guys, with me. It was about them. Because I knew them. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference than Carlton. We playing, we just got done winning one of the biggest games in City League history against Catholic Central. and there was somebody sitting on his couch, head got real big, and believe it or not, we getting ready to go and play the next big game. Carlton spent the whole practice after that game.
Probably pouting.
On the track.
Oh yeah.
That's how, Chris. That's how we got down.
Yeah.
You know, we could. I told
Nobody
you,
bigger than the team,
Nobody
like you
bigger than the
said.
team. And Coach came over to me after about an hour. He said, "Carlton on the track." I said, "Let me know when the next hour go by."
He used to do me dirty, man.
Hey, that was the QB. Listen, when I tell people about, that story of Grand Rapids Public Schools, I said, man, if you don't affiliate Carlton Brewster's name with the change, with the polar bears, Mr. Polar Bear, I said something is wrong.
Yeah.
I said because he was the one, that put us on the map. I remember there was an article in the Grand Rapids Press. We beat Jennison, and the title was Brewster's Millions. And a lot of people don't know the story, but it was a beautiful thing because Carlton Wood, he caught massive cramps in that game, and because the reason he caught cramps because he was getting it in, but he was also running to the sideline to get the plays from me, right? And we got deep into the second half, and Coach Kimbrough that's over at Kentwood right now, and Coach Taylor were on my phones, and they said, "Coach, what'd you call?" I said, "Look, man, I haven't called a play since the first half." I said, "Carlton is calling the plays." And a lot of people don't even know that. That's the kind of relationship that both of us had.
Yeah.
The trust I had in him because he was a student of the game. He had a great football IQ, and we molded that, and he had some good people around him. But I told him, I said, "Carlton, quit running out over here. You got it. You got it." And, man, he put on a show,
didn't he?
For the ages.
But Coach, your belief in Carlton as a sophomore to bring him up,
Right.
and turn the helm over to him. Talk about, man, what had you? Now I know him. He my best friend. He's always had a high football IQ, but you obviously saw something. What did you see, man, that made you do that?
Well,
that time?
I would have had him a lot sooner if his mama would have let him come out. But he was small, but Carlton was tough, man.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. You can't come and play big boy ball if you're not tough. But CB, he had a certain toughness to him.
Yep.
But the other thing I liked about him, man, he had a football IQ.
Yep.
And then Carlton could spin it. Carlton could throw it.
Bro, he been throwing like that since we was 8.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Tearing our fingers up.
Yeah.
I remember real quick. I remember in 8th grade, I was going to Northeast, and you was working at Northeast. You was head of security, and I remember you pulled me in your office, and Tommy Elliott at Crescent, he was a junior then.
Yeah.
He was getting recruited by Michigan, and I remember you showed me this letter. And that was the part of the sale pitch.
Yeah.
It started in the 8th grade.
Crushed
He's like, yeah, man, one of my players, he getting recruited by Michigan. You already know how we is about
And
Michigan.
that's our number one
Letters and
school.
all that. And I was like, man, dang, I remember telling y'all, because y'all was at Air Boys at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that lit me up.
He's right. That was part of the pitch, but those kids they bought in and they understood it, And to this day, it's one of the funniest things for me, man. When people ask me about, some of our better players, he was a monster.
Oh, I know.
Listen, he was one of Coach Lewis, Mr. Lewis. He was Do-Rod's baby, man.
Do-Rod.
Yeah.
What's up, Do-Rod,
And
in
they
case you see this.
Hey, they both played the same position, but man, he was physical. He was very physical and was always smiling.
His IQ.
And enjoyed football,
His IQ.
enjoyed practice.
His IQ was through the roof.
And he had a motor. Could play every position, knew everything.
Yes. And the thing about these guys, man, I never had an issue with them saying no. It was like, feed me.
Yeah.
Feed me, coach. Where you need me to
hungry.
play?
It was
What do you
hungry
need
for
me
it.
to do? One of my favorite players, man, of all time, guys, they'll come back and say, well, give me your favorite players. I said, well, player. I'd be like, I can't give you one because these dudes, these kids were amazing. But there's one that I always talk about, Preston Holman.
Oh, man.
Little P.
Preston Holman was this big, man. And I used to have the guys at the barber shop. I would come in. And
Pound for pound.
They would give me the business. Coach, we got a heck of a team. We're gonna go all the way this year, but you got to get rid of that little corner. you got to get rid of that little corner you got.
Yeah, right.
And I said, what? I said, I'll get rid of all the rest of them before I get rid of P-Funk. I said, are you kidding me? Yeah. This guy, I'm telling you right now, he was amazing. Yeah. Had a tremendous. First of all, his academics was off the chart. Yeah. He had an opportunity to go play at K College, to be an engineer. Yeah. But, man, he was this tall. Yeah. And people would try him. I'm like, keep trying.
And he'd show up every time.
He show up every time,
and
man.
lay the wood.
Yes.
Lay the wood, bro. We scrimmaging. You remember this? Our senior year, we had a scrimmage at Rockford. It was Rockford, Lowell, and Muskegon. We didn't scrimmage Muskegon because
we played them.
But this was the biggest scrimmage in West Michigan. Yeah. It was like 3,000 people at the scrimmage. No lie. No lie, it's a big scrimmage.
That's how y'all used to have it back then, though.
So Preston, we playing Lowell, and Lowell's running the veer, and the fullback came about 200, 220. Preston, 130?
If
120, 130, all muscle. Fullback came in, Preston, smacked him. Dude got hurt, everything, fumbled off.
And P going nuts.
Crazy, yeah. Preston was a dude, like, before our games, no lie, Sparky used to tell, hey, fellas, do y'all thing. You could be here, you could be in the hallways. Yeah. If you want to get a quick lift in, get a lift. Yeah. Preston used to lift before the game. Like, literally, shirt off, football pants on, had his little headphones on, lifting hard. Preston was different, bro.
He was different.
That was Pete, man.
Coach, you ushered in probably the most NFL players this era has seen to this date. Now that I'm looking back on it, and we know where Preston Holman ranked. That's our guy. But out of all the players you coach, whether they went to the NFL or not, who was some of your favorites? You ain't got to say they was number one.
Yeah.
But who are a couple that come to mind for you?
I could break it down in a couple segments for you. You always got to go back to the beginning.
Yep.
Okay. There was this receiver we had. Man, he was a beast, and he was a baseball player. And these two gonna remember his name was Matt Crowley. Okay. Matt Crowley he could have been with them. Okay. He was the one that started it. It was the Air Bears. We was putting that thing up, and he had some gifts. He had some gifts, man. And I coached him also in baseball.
Gotcha.
And he went off to college to play baseball, but he was one heck of a receiver.
He helped start the foundation.
Man, he helped start the foundation, man, because we started getting that reputation that we would put it up. And then you kind of go from that early, moments into that next period, and in that next period, man, you got if you leave out Joey Rodriguez, something is wrong.
Joey was tough too.
Joey would,
and the leader of our team, bro. Didn't say 10 words.
He was the heart and soul of y'all team.
You knew what time it was.
You knew he was just
get him going, Scoot.
He was just
bro. I remember all the stories at Crescent. Yeah. Not to cut you off, Scooter. We was doing up downs. Joey looked at Scooter, get him going, Scoot. Like, he meant business. Yeah. Scoot ain't get him going. Toggled bro. Next up downs, he had him going. I tell you that's it.
Yeah. They was tough. So I gotta Joey, because he set the standard.
Yeah.
Joey and all these guys saw it. So Joey set the standard. Not the most talented. But, man, you talk about this.
Hard, absolutely.
Ooh, he was tough. So those kind of guys, man, they laid the foundation for them, and they was seeing this. And then, you got to start getting into these cats, man. Carlton, I mean, come on, man. Like I told you, if you when you talk about City League football, if Carlton Brewster's name doesn't come out first, I got a problem.
Yeah,
I got a problem.
You might be low key hating.
Yeah, right. There's a problem. I mean, come on, man. At the end of the day, he went out and he played in the NFL.
Exactly.
And that's a whole new story in itself. Yeah. But then, so you got Carlton, that rolled through, and then all of a sudden, man. Boom! You look up. Here comes Reuben Riley. Here comes Reuben Riley and Turner Nande.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's these guys are guys that, football went. Cam Bradfield.
Yeah.
I tell a great story about Cam. He wasn't taking care of his business on his field. I would always tell parents, if you want to come to practice, come to practice. Keep the rule, you got to stay on the hill, though. But you can come to practice and see, because they'll tell you their practice is harder than the game. And so there was not a lot of time, that was getting on the field for Cam. So his mom wanted to come to the coaches meeting for film. I said, come on, Cindy.
Yeah.
And Cindy came to the meeting.
Yeah.
And I said, now, Cindy, you got to let us coach. We're going to coach just like you're not here. And we breaking down the film, and Cam was getting worked. Cam was getting worked. And she said, Coach, I'm good. I've seen enough. I'm out. I tell people to this day, the reason that Cam was in the NFL is because of Cindy. Cindy left that meeting.
Yeah.
Cam went to a whole different level. But that was the difference in what was going on.
Yeah.
And then, don't let me leave out Justin Hoskins.
Yeah.
I seen Justin
That's
Hoskins.
E favorite.
I seen Justin Hoskins jump over my head
Right.
on the sideline. I saw Justin Hoskins score 8 different ways.
Yep.
You didn't hear me. 8
Woo.
different ways.
He was special.
Scoop and score, interception, kickoff return, punt return, threw a pass, caught a pass, ran a touchdown. I couldn't believe it was in middle school. It was in middle school. So when I started Aston Martin,
Yep.
I mean, the name itself, man.
Exactly.
Right.
Aston Martin, Drew Terry. He was part of that bridge with Joey.
Yeah.
Drew Rush, he had a long-standing NCAA record.
Yeah.
400 and some yards. And guess what? He couldn't even get full-time carries for us.
Nope.
Because we had so many dudes.
Y'all was so loaded in the
Yeah.
backfield. Drew, Ashton, Justin, Turner,
Lloyd Kilgore.
Oh, man.
Scooter.
Once
Yeah.
again, it was dudes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
dudes. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. One of the things that really crushed me is when, I'm coaching professionally. I was a coordinator, but then I became a head coach.
Yeah.
And I had to give up the coordinating position. A lot of people didn't know for years I had dual roles.
Okay.
And that was by my choice because I didn't want to bounce on them. So when I got the head job, I had to resign. AJ's team
Yep.
was about to be better than all their teams. But you got to remember, these guys was the reason that all those guys came
there.
to there.
Yep.
I coached those guys, and when those guys left, they didn't care nothing about them young boys. I went down and coached the 56ers. And we got kicked out the league.
Because y'all was too dominant.
We had to go play in Muskegon, Lansing, and Kalamazoo. Because those guys, those parents started sending kids to Creston, the feeders.
Yeah.
And man, we had Billy Hurst was the coach. He was the head coach, but I was with him.
Yeah.
And we was making sure we was going to keep that train rolling.
Yeah.
And so when I left, the cupboards were not bare by no means. We had some guys coming up that was,
Yeah.
woo.
A lot of talent
Pooter.
in that pipeline.
Porter.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, there's guys, and, no disrespect to none of my boys because we had some dudes, man. I wanted you, but I couldn't get you, man.
Man.
I wanted you
Man.
too. Hey, so we had a stranglehold. We did. We had a stranglehold on the city, and it was done the right way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Parents wanted them over there because here's the deal. Last time I checked, all these guys were getting opportunities to go play at the collegiate level
All of them.
and get degrees and and just doing things the right way, man. I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah.
Of that alone.
Absolutely.
When I see these boys come back and we didn't even say Marcus Naves.
Oh yeah.
Nerdy.
Nardi. Marcus Nays. Marcus 4-3.
Man, I can remember when you kicked us out of practice, man. You was chasing Nerdy to get the balls back. We had a good time, man. We had a good time.
It was. Like I said, much love, and it was unfortunate that I had to.
Yeah.
Coach Michael Becker would always say, man, he said he hated that Grand Rapids let me get away. Think about what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Grand
Yeah,
Rapids.
Yeah, Coach
Yeah.
Baker, we would always kick it. He was like, man, just like my man down in Cleveland, that coach Ginn.
Yeah.
And Baker would always say, man, Grand Rapids, you were supposed to be in Grand Rapids like that.
Oh, yeah.
And but I thought these guys, man, they came ahead of their time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could have been done.
Yeah.
But they actually were ahead of their
Their
time.
time. Yep. I agree.
I think you were ahead of the time. So I think about the things that we did, the things that you implement.
Yeah.
Like from a scheme standpoint, we was running 4 wide. You know what I mean? I remember at my junior year, he had me under center for a reason. I was under center. You got to see the coverage. You know what I mean? And then my senior year, I took it to another step where I got in shotgun.
Yeah.
So we was doing, check with me's at the line of scrimmage. We was having a balanced system, and a lot of schools wasn't doing that, man. And, thankful for you. And I remember, I'll bring the story up real quick. Forest Hills Northern was like our out of conference. To me, it was like an out of conference rival game. Mm-hmm. We didn't like them, they didn't like us. So our junior year, it was the first day of practice. So Spark had us do this agility team station. So it's competition. So it's you against another guy. You got to do some cones, whatever like this, whatever it is.
Warm-ups. I remember this.
Warm-ups.
Yeah.
And some days, I just wasn't in the funk, bro. Like, you come to practice, I don't know. I just wasn't in the funk. So I went against Mike Nugent, my center.
And lost.
Yeah, I tied him. I lost the first one. Sparks like, man, do it again. I'm like, all right, man. Kind of did it again. We tied. Man, get your ass on the track. Man, I was on the track.
You put him on the track, boy.
Man, I was on the track. I won't move. I was like kind of like walking. He's like, man, go home, go quit.
Yeah, I remember that.
He said, man, take my shoulder pads off.
Kicked him out of practice.
Take my quarterback shoulder pads off. Took them off. I ain't even have them off yet. Hey, Joey, come try them quarterback shoulder pads on. Bro, you know the hot emoji? That was me. I was on fire, man.
The creator of that emoji.
I ain't even got the feel yet. Joey got the quarterback shoulder pads. How that arm feel, Joey? Joey warming up, Sparky playing catch. He talked to him. You got to get ready for I ain't even off the field yet.
Yeah.
You got to get ready for the
How that arm feel, Joey?
Boy, Lynn. So I'm walking back. Nardi, he come to practice late because he was at the alternative school. So Nardi come in. I said, he was like, CB, what's going on? He said, man, I quit, man. He said, CB, you quit. So then I came back because I called my mom. She went there. I came back, man. I told Spark, man, I don't want to quit. Man, get your ass back on that track. Man, I ran the whole practice. But it's just, like, when I got older, like, when I became a head coach as a quarterback, you can't have no days off, bro. Like,
not when you tie the center, never.
Can't, bro. This is too important.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that when of course, you in that moment, but you can't have no days off, man. So I learned a lot, you know what I mean, as a head coach, and those some of the traits that I got from you, you know what I mean, got from TK. So a lot of my coaching style is you and TK, because you brought TK to be more of the good cop, bro. You know what I mean? You was a bad cop. It is what it is. But that helped me, though. You know what I mean? That helped me totally, man. So I definitely appreciate you in regards to that, man.
One thing, Coach, as we kind of wind down, I talk a lot about finances and money. What was for you on your journey? You didn't get here, like I said, you are a business. You one of the best CEOs of this, in my opinion. You know the business of football. What's one of your biggest challenges with money, whether personally, when you came into it on yourself, all the levels you've been to, something you can tell to those that's going to tune in, that's watching this, about the importance of how they handle their money, not letting it overwhelm their lives or things like that?
It's extremely important. Now, from a business side of it, I tell people this all the time. In order to make this thing happen, man, you got to have capital.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got to have capital, okay? And I tell guys all the time, I said, there's individuals out there, trust me on this, that you have value, okay? You find out what your value is, and then you need to capitalize off that value. And then when you have that opportunity, man, this is a simple word. It's called invest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Invest it, whether it's financially or whether you invest in your time, but make that work for you financially.
Absolutely.
If you can do that, you can have success. Our team here, I look around this locker room, there's things here in this locker room that I know that this team raised it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We invested time, we've invested our efforts into putting this here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
it's for a great cause, but I tell people all the time, find your value. Mm-hmm. And once you find that value, man, capitalize off of it. That's because you know what? We have to have capital.
Yep.
We have to have capital, then make that capital, work for you. Because I just told you guys, man, I'm so excited about our program because I've been there when a stadium's been sold out.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been over at Lubber Stadium when Ferris State and Grand Valley's going at it, and it's jam packed. You know, that day is coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, and
Yes, sir.
you know, I've been there, done that. You know, and I can't wait because I'm gonna say I envision this. You know, but in order to get a lot of that going, man, you got to have capital backing you. You do. You got to have capital backing you. Once you get it, you got to know how you handle it too.
One thing you got in addition to that is human capital. You've always leveraged not only your resources but your relationships. And I like how you've able to manifest those things to get what you need out of parents, players, and those that support you, man. And so I love it. I think that's a great message. Tap into your value and use that to leverage everything else. That's a great word right there. I think on a closing note, and I want to make sure I touch in with the guys. Y'all got any last questions for Coach Spark that we ain't touch on? I know we touched on a lot.
No questions, man. I would just say, Coach, for the people that's watching, if they want to reach out to Davenport, who do they contact if they're a prospective student coming in or football player?
Well, you know, first, we're not hard to find, you know, these days with these young people. But if you go to our website and you go to DU Athletics, okay, and obviously you go to our website and then you'll be able to go and tap into our webpage, all right? And then if it's a youngster, if it's a young athlete, he has to look at Jawan Lewis. He's our high school recruiting coordinator. And then Lucas Mello, you know, he's our recruiting coordinator as well, but he pretty much recruits the country. Okay, he's over the player personnel for that. And then last but not least, come on, man. Everybody knows Sparky here.
There we go.
You know, reach out to me and you know, I don't turn my back. I always reach back, and I'm always talking to ours here.
Absolutely.
You know, because, man, I've done it at the high school level here. I've done it at the collegiate level here, and I've done it at the pro level. You know, this is our home.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I've had opportunities to be other places, but you know, man, when you got a chance to do it at home, you know, my goal is just this. I've won championships here at the high school level. I've won championships, you know, at the collegiate level, just up there, you know, with Tony, and I've won it at the pro level here. But I haven't done it at the college level.
Time to bring it to Davenport. There we go.
Coming.
There we go.
It's coming. Speaking of reaching back, you have always done that, and we thank you for reaching back and allowing us to hang out with you today, ask you a few questions, walk down memory lane. Again, man, we want to love on you, give you your flowers, but tell you that we appreciate you, man, and to keep up the good work. We're wishing you a successful season this year, continued success, and we will sell out this stadium and make it look like those rivalries that you're accustomed to, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, seeing you guys come so far. You know, I remember you guys at the parks, guys. You know, whether it was King Park, you know, Garfield, and man, that's dating us all,
right?
You know, but I look at you guys now and where you're at, and your families, you know, your wives, you know, and that's special.
Yes.
You know, that's really special. And your parents, I know all your parents, you know, and they've done one hell of a job.
Absolutely.
You know, so please keep doing what you do, you know, because our youth, they need you, you know. And I tell people all the time, I said, these guys, they was no different than y'all.
Exactly.
You know, but one thing about y'all was focused. You know, and when you see you doing this here, it shows you how focused you are. You know, and just giving back. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you, and please keep doing what you're doing. Anything you guys need, just let me know.
Absolutely. On that note, guys, we're going to wrap this episode up. We thank you guys for tuning in. We had Coach Sparky McEwen of Davenport University on today. We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.